On the point of that knife, a man's life is at stake.
I'm just saying it's possible.
And I say it's not possible.
Greetings, movie lovers. Let's talk about movies. I'm Jasmine.
And I'm Iker.
Yeah, today we are going to talk about a very interesting movie. We are going back to 1957 in Hollywood. It's 12 Angry Men, 1957 American court drama film directed by Sidney Lumet. And it's kind of a very interesting story that we are going to talk about.
I want you to watch this because I don't want to have to do it again. I'll make myself about 6 or 7 inches shorter, okay?
It's about right, maybe a little more.
Okay, a little more. Look out.
And I think the main selection of this movie is through Iker. So what is the reason to select this movie to talk about?
Well, there's actually many reasons why I've chosen this movie. It is considered by many film critics to be one of the best movies ever filmed, right? It has an amazing cast, and all the actors they brought their A game to the filming of the movie. It has a really simple script if you come to think of it, right? It doesn't feel like a movie. It feels more like a going to the theater, really, like an actual theater, because it's a small setting. The actors really don't do much. They just talk, and that is the entire plot. So in the movie, they try to decide, it's a jury in a courthouse trying to decide if a boy is innocent or not. And a lot of things come into question, like morality, the issue of the crime. Was he innocent? Is there enough evidence? All those things come together, and they culminate in the jury debating among themselves. Right, the members of the jury debating among themselves. So the person they're judging is a kid from an ethnic minority. They don't really say which one. I believe he's Italian, right? Which back in the 50s was considered to be like a bit of they're pretty much a quasi-foreigner in the U.S. And they're trying to decide whether I believe he killed his father or not. I think that was the reason why they were judging him, right? Obviously the child or the teenager, he claims to be innocent, but nobody believes him because the evidence is against him.
One man is dead. Another man's life is at stake. If there's a reasonable doubt in your minds as to the guilt of the accused, a reasonable doubt, then you must bring me a verdict of not guilty.
So out of the 12 members of the jury, only one, Henry Fonda, thinks that he's innocent. The other 11 think that he's guilty, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, that's 11 guilty. Was voting not guilty? 1, right.
And they vote several times. It goes back and forth until all the members of the jury eventually realize that the kid is most likely innocent. And during the debate, they always talk about, like, for example, immigration. They talk about morality. They talk about the presumption of innocence. They talk about the veracity of the testimony of the witnesses, right? People that heard the scream or all that stuff. And the film relies exclusively on the dialogue. There's no special effects. There's nothing outstanding except for the actors that clearly did an excellent job in this film, right?
Guilty. 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 Not guilty.
Apart from that, the main protagonist is Henry Fonda, who is an outstanding actor. He's really good in many of the movies he's been in. And he's one of the icons of classic Hollywood. He also made really good movies with, he made a really good movie with Sergio Leone, who's an Italian filmmaker known for spaghetti westerns. I don't know if you've heard of the movie Once Upon a Time in the West. I believe that was the one where he appeared, and he was like the villain of the movie, which was a bit shocking because he always was the good guy in most of the movies he starred in, right? So that was like an exception. He became the villain in that movie, but in this one he's meant to be like the voice of conscience in that group. And in this movie, Henry Fonda, he through excellent dialogue, he's capable of demonstrating the kid is innocent and changing the entire verdict of the film, right? Of the jury.
Let's take two pieces of testimony and try to put them together. First, the old man in the apartment downstairs. He says he heard the boy say, "I'm going to kill you," and a split second later heard a body hit the floor. The woman across the street swore positively she looked out of the window and saw the killing through the last two cars of a passing elevated train.
And the decision they take. And at the end, obviously, they declare that the child is innocent. And apart from that, this is one of the... Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So I think it's very interesting for our audience to have a kind of a sense of idea what we are just explaining. Okay. So I will go back to the piece of the movie so then they can get idea. So the dissenting juror, Henry Froda, so in a murder trial slowly managed to convince the others that the case is not obviously clear, and it seems to be in the court. So let's go back to this small piece of this movie, and we'll come back.
Sure, let's go.
Slob, he don't even speak good English.
He doesn't even speak good English. Mr. Foreman, I'd like to change my vote to not guilty.
I'm really curious about this jury is taking the decisions, right? In the back in the court, and they take the about an 1 hour and 45 minutes of only the entire discussion is the movie, yes, right?
Exactly.
So they how they continuously bring the arguments and take the decisions based on the reasonable doubt, and how they take the action and how they take the others' agreements to take that this boy is guilty to be not guilty. So this very amazing, the constructive arguments that they have built as a jury. So just explains what else that you actually wanted to highlight in this movie.
Well, for example, each one of the members of the jury has a reason why he thinks the way he does, right? And they talk about it openly, right? And then there's issues among them. One of them voted said that the guy was guilty just because he was done with the whole thing, wanted to go back home, watch a game, right? He didn't care if the guy was innocent or not. He just voted guilty so they could get rid of him, even though that would cost the guy his life in prison. Another one of the last ones to vote innocent, is a man who just disliked the boy who was accused of murdering his father, just because he was a member of that ethnic minority, right? Because he was Italian, I believe. So that's why, and each one has these reasons. They may be really simple, but that really is, I think, what happens on a daily basis. We judge people harshly, or we come up with a snap decision that could affect their lives. It could affect at least it could damage their day, and we do not realize that. But in that movie, that's highlighted, right? So
and I really like that the incidents that they take these testimonies one by one and turn it upside down and bring that argument to prove that the boy is not guilty. So that's why they take the very, very precious kind of ideas, right? And they try to convince the others to take the right decisions. That this is very important in decision making, right? So how they constructively build this and prove this is not guilty.
It is.
And I think, there's one incident in that they will take the time lapse between the testimonies, and they try to act the incident, and they try to prove it is not realistic. So we will let the audience to have a look on this smart decisions that how we are taking, and we'll come back again.
Okay.
Lock, door, stop.
Right.
What's the time?
Exactly 41 seconds.
Say that the time lapse does not match. It is not plausible for that to have happened, right? And even measure the steps that they take and stuff like that to prove that the guy did not commit murder. And also they talk about the eyesight. There's a neighbor who claims to have seen the murder, and he says it was the kid, but then again, he didn't have his glasses on, and he had bad eyesight, so there was no way he could really properly identify that person accurately, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is it because of your eyeglasses? It is.
Your eyeglasses made those two deep impressions in the sides of your nose. The woman who testified that she saw the killing had those same marks on the sides of her nose.
So with all that considered, I think it's that's how they start little by little, convincing more and more members of the jury of how that kid is innocent. And I think it's really an uplifting movie, and it's a movie that everybody should watch regarding regarding presumption of innocence. And it reminds me a lot of the other movie and great novel of To Kill a Mockingbird, where they also accuse a man of raping a woman, right, in the South, in the United States. And the man is innocent. The reason why they accuse him harshly of having raped that woman is because he's black and the woman was white, right? And the woman just accused that guy, and nobody believed the innocent man except for the lawyer defending him. And it is obviously racially motivated. And in that sense, this movie is really similar to that one, right? There's a child who's a member of an ethnic minority who's been given a really hard time for a crime he did not commit. And then little by little, it is proven that he's innocent.
Ever since you walked into this room, you've been acting like a self-appointed public avenger. You want to see this boy die because you personally want it, not because of the facts. You're a sadist.
Kill him out!
You don't really mean you'll kill me, do you?
You know, you should not really judge people that harshly. We should just really look at the evidence probably given to us and be, how do you say that? And be objective when it comes to judging the evidence that it is brought to our attention. So yeah, I think that this movie really is outstanding. It is really well made. The script is excellent. The acting is superb.
You work your life out.
Yeah.
And what do you think about this name of this movie? How they have put this 12 Angry Men?
Well, it is a really wise choice, because at the end of the day, they spend the entire 2 hours or hour and a half bickering among themselves, right? They start arguing and screaming, and there's a lot of insults, and you know they get angry with one another. Like there's in one section of the movie, there's a man who's, I think he's Czech or French or something. He's European, right? But he became an American citizen. That's why he's a member of the jury. And another guy gets angry at him and says, "Oh, you foreigners are all the same," right? Which is pretty much what happened to the kid they're judging, right? So it is a really accurate decision. I think it was a wise choice to name the movie 12 Angry Men.
I bet you $5,000 I'd remember the movies I saw. I'm telling you, everything that's going on has been twisted and turned. This business with the glasses? How do you know she didn't have them on? This woman testified in open court.
Yes, it's a very nice movie, and it was selected as the second best courtroom drama ever by the American Film Institute top 10 list during 1957 and 1950. And there are many awards and recognitions that the film has been taken. And also later in 1957, it is reproduced with another different kind of countries and different kind of languages. And also, it was very popular for the law students.
Yeah, it is.
To study law students.
I know. Yes. I studied law myself, so I can. It is a popular movie. But yeah, they made a lot of remakes. I think they made one in the Soviet Union or Russia, but it wasn't as popular. Like it usually happens with remakes. Remakes did not really live up to their predecessors, right? Their predecessors, and it is also a movie that has been considered to be one of the best movies to ever have been made, right? So this plot and whole movie, the concept sounds really simple, but it is so good that it pretty much captivates you from the very beginning. It's an enthralling movie, right? So since the very first second, you're pretty much like sucked into that movie until the very end. Like at the end of the movie, and I hope I don't spoil this movie to anybody, because this is a movie that you should have watched already. Henry Fonda is leaving the courtroom after they decided that kid is innocent, and there's this older man, the oldest man of the entire jury. He walks up to him, says his name, shakes his hand, and just leaves. Right?
What's your name?
Davis.
My name's Ricardo. Well, so long.
So long.
And that old man was the guy who was by his side during the entire process, who pretty much convinced other people also that the guy was innocent, because at the end of the day, Henry Fonda was the only one who said the kid was innocent, and then the older man backed him up. He said, "I want to see what he has to say. He may be right," and then he becomes like his ally during the entire process, right? And it was really nice the way that movie ends. It pretty much sums it up neatly. The guy just shakes his hand, admits that Henry Fonda's a good man, and then he takes off and says goodbye. So yeah, I mean, I was really moved by that movie in many ways. I thought it was really well made.
So we'll invite our audience to have a look at this movie once again. And if you have not watched it before, so watch it, and just take some of the ideas, and also how you can take a right decisions without even the testimonials are there are evidences are also there, but with a reasonable doubt, you can actually lean into the right decisions, and you can't even judge by any person by the incidents, right? So you have to get in the deep and rightly understand what is it's there. So even in real life, we have to be very mindful, and that's a very good kind of advice for people, because most of the people also take some things from the day-to-day life, and they believe without taking into the right decisions. They don't go into that deep, and they just believe it. Rather than that, you have to be very mindful and be very conscious what you are talking and what you are getting into the right decisions in life. So we'll get back again with another movie. So what do you like next to talk about?
Well, I have no idea, really. We can figure out a new movie, and if you want me to come back to your show, I can recommend another film, and we can go through as well. It'd be my pleasure to help you.
Yeah, let me know what's your next movie. So we'll come back again. Thank you, Iker, for joining with us from USA. Right?
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. And thanks for having me on the show.
Yes. We'll come back again with another movie. Until then, stay safe and stay blessed. Movie lovers, let's talk about movies. Thank you.
Bye.